Hello guys, and happy almost New Year's to you. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So we're going to talk about some steps to making your New Year's resolutions, or whatever you want to call it, successful, right? We're going to do a no fail proof system. If you follow these steps, you guys, this will work. I do them all the time and it always works. It's so easy. Even my children do it. My 16-year-old do it and he's successful with it. So we want to make sure that you are following the steps and that you're very successful with whatever it is you want to do for the year. So I asked quite a few people in my Facebook group. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, go ahead and I'll put a link in the description box. But I did ask them if it's a Christian Facebook group in case you're interested. But so I asked them, do you do New Year's resolution, and what do you think about it? And a lot of people said they don't really do it because it don't work. Some people said that they do it, but then it winds up not working, like diets or something like that. And it is true, whatever you don't work is not going to work. So if you get really excited at the beginning of the new year and you say, oh yes, you get this long New Year's resolution, this year I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and this, and you're excited about it for 1 week, and then after the week, you've done absolutely nothing with it, then I tell you what, it's not going to work. So these are steps that you're going to have to take daily in order to do this. But by the end of the 365 days, then you will have accomplished your dream and your goal. So let's get right into the video. All right, so number one, you want to buy a notebook or a journal. Now, I don't mean your vision book. I don't mean your dream book, whatever you're doing. I mean just the separate. My son bought me this beautiful book for Christmas. He bought me this one, and then he bought me another one because he knows I love journals and things like that. And I'm always writing, doodling dreams, whatever, visions, you know, different things that I have. And so you want to pick up something that just have lines in it, okay? You just want to make sure that there's lines on it where you can write in it. That's number one. Number two, you don't want to do a whole long list of goals. You want to be realistic. You want to do 3 to 4 goals for the year. All right? So not too many things that are realistically like that you can achieve in a year. So you don't want to say, I'm going to be making $1 million in a year and you make $10 an hour. Set goals that you know you can pretty much accomplish, or something that you could stretch a little bit, but you want to make sure that they are realistic goals, okay? Number 3, you want to, if you have a prayer journal or a war binder, every single day you're going to pray over them. You're going to put them, you're going to jot those down, the things that you want in your prayer journal, and you're going to put them in your war binder, and you're going to pray over those things every single day. This is very important. Now here comes the very important steps. You're going to write down how you plan to make it work. This is where the Bible says faith without works is dead. So all you want to, you can sit and write stuff all day long, but if you do not have a plan or how you're going to make things happen, nothing's going to happen. So that is very important that you do that. So let me give you an example. Say, for instance, you want to open a business by the end of next year. So if you want to open a business, that's great, but you're going to have to take steps every single day. And I'll give you, even for example, for myself, because I opened an online store. Well, one of the things was on a list of what do you need to do. So what I needed to do, I've never had an online store. I've had a store in the mall before, but it was a lot different than an online store, because in the store in the mall, people just come walk right into your store. But online, it's a lot different. So I had to research. I had to take classes online. I had to figure out even how to create a website. I had to figure out what looks good, the color scheme. I had a lot of stuff that I had to do. So I wrote that down. Okay, what do I need to do to make this happen? I looked at a lot of videos. I talked to people. I had to do a lot of stuff in order to even get it up and going. So you want to write down how you're going to get it. Like my 16-year-old, one of the things he wrote down this time when we did it, he said he wants to get a job because he's 16 now. It's time for him to get a job. And I said, well, how are you going to do that? So he says, well, I got to put in applications. Exactly. exactly. So one day you want to put in applications, right? So applications is something good you want to do. And then you also want to call the jobs back. So you want to write down, how are you going to get those goals? How are you going to do it? So even if you say, I want a good relationship with my husband. This year is going to be my spouse. This is going to be our best year yet. Well, how are you going to make it happen? Well, we're going to be nicer to each other. We're going to go on dates once a week. We're going to do this or we're going to do that. Think about it. How are you going to make it happen? You might even have to research things right off the bat of, okay, so I want to do this. How am I going to do it? Google it, figure it out, okay? Now, this is the most important step out of everything. Every single day you work towards your goal. You take one thing. You could take one thing or you could do two. Like my son's like, can I do two? I don't care how many you do. But every single day you want to be working something off of your list so you can cross it off and say, oh, I did something towards my goal for the year. So even on days where it looks like you're not doing anything, you're still doing something. So it's really amazing. So you want to make sure that you are working towards your goals. So like I had goals when I was opening my store, like I want to make sure that I do this. Like, so for instance, I might have wanted to make sure that I designed all my t-shirts that day, or well, it took longer than a day, but I want to work towards designing my t-shirts or work towards designing the pictures or whatever. I wanted to work towards different items. So every single day, I want to work towards finding a manufacturer company who's going to manufacture this stuff for me. So every day you want to do something towards working towards it, and then you just cross it off. And some days it's going to look like, man, am I getting anywhere? So at some point I'm like, I'm working every day so hard. Am I getting anywhere with it? But when you go back and look at your notes, you're like, yeah, well, I am doing something. I am moving ahead because I'm doing this, and this. All right, so that is very important. That is the biggest step out of all these steps, is you want to do that. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to set dates and deadlines for this. So so you might want to say, okay, by next January 1st, and say by because it might happen before. By next January 1st, I want to have this done, or I want to do this, or I want to, whatever your goal is, you want to write down your goal of what you want. Okay, so set a date. I did it. And then another thing that can go with that, what you can do is let others know. Now, I'm not talking about people who are negative. We'll get into the family and friends and all that bad stuff. But the naysayers in a minute. We'll talk about that in a second. But the thing is that you want to set deadlines. Now, deadlines is going to really push your butt because people are going to be asking for it. So one thing I like to do, because I said I have a Facebook group, so I will put it out there. Like I will put it out there. Okay, by this date, my online store will be open, so that if it's not open, people are going to be like, girl, where you at? Where you at? And you guys, I set a date, and you know what? My son's like, why did you do that? You know, you're really pushing yourself, because I was working 12 hours. I wanted to get that store open. I set a date and I wanted to do it. So I was really working and pushing to get all my items on there, to finish it, to get it open. And I was a week late, but I did get it open. So I almost met my goal, which was still okay, even if you're like a week off or 2 weeks off. And then another thing that I do, like I have gratitude journals, war binders, I have things like that. And if you notice, if you're part of my group, I put that out there and I say, guess what's coming soon? The war binder is coming soon, or the gratitude journal, because that is something that I like to do. I will tell people what I'm about to do. I put it out there in the atmosphere. I announce what I'm about to do so that it can bounce back, right, to me. So I begin to declare what I'm going to do, and I begin to work towards it, and I set deadline dates and let others know. Now, I'm not saying, now let's talk a little bit about, when we talk about that, we want to talk about negative naysayers, because you don't want to tell people your dreams and they're going to crush them. Family members who you know is not very positive people, and I have had that along the way. I had, even when I went to start my Facebook group, I had a family member to say, oh, she's not, tell somebody else, how long is she going to do that for? Or just something very, very, very negative. And then somebody else said, oh, she can do your t-shirts for you, or she does t-shirts. And they said, will I even get them since I'm so-and-so? And it's like, honey, I work with a manufacturer company. Everything is done online. You order them. The company is who sends it out, the manufacturer company. I design them. I do this and that, but I don't sit and put designs on the t-shirts and the cups, and I don't sit and actually have everything in my home. The only thing I fully do out of my home, and that is I just do my books out of my home. But even anybody who bought a book, you're going to get your book. It's going to go out in the mail within 3 days. I have a very set time, and I'm very strict in working. And so that was just another negative, something that the family member said. And so now, you know what? I ask people, please don't tell that individual what I'm doing. I've had even another family member where I'm sitting there, and we're just sitting there, and we were talking. Somebody was over to the house, a social worker or something, and they said, oh, what do you do for a living? And before I can even answer, the person goes, oh, she don't do anything. I don't do anything. I work 8 hours a day. And not only that, I have money coming in. So to me, I don't care if you're working at home. I don't care what you're doing. If you have money coming in, that is a job, okay? So don't listen to naysayers. Be careful, because let those people who are negative in your life, let them be your stepping stone to get better, to finish things, to do what you want to do. Let them be like just a stepping stool so you can go up higher and higher, okay? And so that's something good that you want to do. Now, if you follow all those steps, every last one of those steps, I promise you, in 365 days, you would have accomplished that what you want to do, okay? If you do them just right, you're going to have to make sure that you manage just right. And so that thing, but listen, let me tell you this. That's why, reason why I said don't get too many items is because whatever you feed will grow. Whatever you focus on will grow. Whatever you nourish is going to grow. So if you're focusing, taking a few minutes a day, you're praying on it and meditating, God, I want this to happen. God, I want this, and you're meditating on it, is going to grow, okay? So whatever your goals is, whatever your main focus is, that is going to grow. That's going to feed you. That's going to take over, and you're going to be like, okay, this is what I want to do. And you'll wake up dreaming about it. You'll be excited to get, oh, let me do this, let me do that today, okay? So you want to make sure. So that is how you do it. And I promise you. Now, I will say a lot of people do the whole year. I don't do the whole year. My family, we all do 3-month goals. So that way it's easier to see the 3-month goal, but you can do the same thing in a year goal. I've done the year goal too, and I'll go back and look, and I'm like, oh yay, you know, you can cross things out. I did this, I did that, and it's really exciting. I keep all my dream books. I keep all my books that I write everything in, because I love to go back and look and see what I've accomplished and how far I have come. So 2017 was a great year for me. I did a whole lot of stuff, right? Some stuff you guys don't even know. But then this is just the beginning for me, because in 2018, I can guarantee it's going to be a great, great year, not only for me, but for everybody who's associated with me. I've prayed over you guys, and we prayed together, and you know, I know that God's going to bless you all as well. So that is how you do it. Let me just tell you one more thing. After you have achieved your goal, don't stop. You're going to have to keep going. Even though, just like I have my online store, I still have a lot. I still go to networking meetings where I constantly meet new people. I still go to pop-up shops. I go to different events where I can let people know, hey, we're online, or they can purchase things from me there. I had to learn how to advertise online because I had no idea. So I had to learn how to advertise, how to bring people to my store, you know, so I had to learn how to do all of that. And so just because you finished it, remember, you have to continue to feed that thing so that thing can continue to grow. So I wish you all the best. I pray that God will bless each and every one of you, whatever your New Year's resolution is. I pray that it will come forth, and this year 2018 will be a great year for you. So God bless you, and God bless you. Bye, guys.